Madam Chief. Please take your seats. Services are beginning momentarily.
No, not here. Not here. Don't worry, I'm not going to get up or do anything crazy.
She's going to sit up and get out of the car, so don't do that.
They have the family come in. I'm going to have family come in. The family rabbi wants to cut for you with you guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, please
Right in.
services are beginning momentarily. Thank you.
But if I'm looking for it, I don't want to see
Please make your way in. Thank you.
אשרי האיש אשר לא הלך בעצת רשעים ובדרך חטאים לא עמד ובמושב ליצים לא ישב. כי בתורת אדוני חפצו, בתורתו יהגה יומם ולילה. והיה כעץ שתול על פלגי מים, אשר פיו ייתן בעיתו, ועלהו לא ייבול, וכל אשר יעשה יצליח. לא כן הרשעים, כי כמוץ אשר תדפנו רוח, על כן לא יקומו רשעים במשפט, החטאים בעדת צדיקים, כי יודע אדוני דרך צדיקים ודרך רשעים תאבד. מזמור לדוד, אדוני מי יגור באוהליך, מי ישכון בהר קודשך. הולך תמים ופועל צדק, ודובר אמת בלבבו. לא רגל על לשונו, לא עשה לרעהו רעה, וחרפה לא נשא על קרובו. נבזה בעיניו נמאס, ותראה אדוני יכבד. נשבע להרע ולא ימיר, כספו לא נתן בנשך, ושוחד על נקי לא לקח, עושה אלה לא ימות לעולם. מזמור לדוד, אדוני רואי לא יחסר בינו דשא ירביצני, על מי מנוחות ינעלני. נפשי ישובב ינחני במגלי צדק למען שמו, גם כי ילך בגיץ המוות לא ירא רע, כי אתה עמדי. שבטך ומשענתך עמי נחמוני, תערוך לפני שולחן נגד צורריי, ישנת בשמן ראשי כוסי רוויה, אך טוב החסד רדפוני כל ימי חיי, ושבתי בבית אדוני לאורך ימים. I'll ask from your son-in-law, Eri Basks, to come up and to lead us with the English reading of chapter 23 in the book of Psalms. Whoever can join him, please join him.
The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You have anointed my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever.
We are saying goodbye to Etty Eisen, but before I want to offer my condolences to the family, Joanna in Grant, Amy and Harry, Jamie, Amy, and grandchildren Maya, Ethan, Jody and Harry, and the rest of the family. I met Etty 30 years ago. We just came to, a few years after I came to Cleveland, we just started. I don't know how she heard about us. I don't remember how she showed up, maybe from the newspaper, maybe she heard from somebody. But I remember the first time I met her, I saw there is an aura on her. She's something unusual about this person. There was an inside beauty that shined out, and with such sensitivity and care for everybody. And we right away connected. It was a connection from the first minute. Always cared for. We saw what kind of a good heart she had. Always asking about the others. Always caring for somebody else, for the whole world, as your daughter say. And she introduced to us a friend that a member of our synagogue since then, Ruthie Wolfson, and other people. Later I met Amy and the two daughters, Joanna and Amy, and I remember attending Joanna's bat mitzvah at the JCC. It was a big, big party, and everybody was very excited there. Your mother collected people from all over, all the friends from all types, from all type of groups she had. Your mother was born in Colombia, got married there, but for some reason she came to the United States, and she chose Cleveland. I don't know why Cleveland, the cold place of Cleveland, but we were very lucky that she came here. And I'm lucky to meet such a special soul that your mother was. Yiddishkeit was very important to your mother. Judaism was everything about her. She sent Joanna to the Hebrew Academy until 5th grade, I think, 6th grade, and then both of you went to Salomon Schechter until 8th grade, until it finished. Then all the years they sent you to Camp Ramah. That was everything for her. To hear what you got from your mother, it's more than just the day school. It's the connection, the deep connection to the Jewish people. And that's why you grow up the way you grow up, and you marry the way you are married, and you're raising your children this way, and you're sending your children to day school. And as you told me yesterday, your mother would do everything that you should be to help you to send your children to day school. She didn't need to buy for herself anything. She doesn't need jewelry. She doesn't need anything. The number one most important thing in her life is her grandchildren's Jewish education. And it's interesting to note that in Judaism, grandparents are responsible for the Jewish education of the grandchildren. Not for in general education, paying for college, but for the Jewish education, there is an obligation in the Torah that grandparents, it's not like I raise my children, I'm done. I'm responsible for the grandchildren. Great-grandchildren, you're done. It's not your responsibility. But grandchildren, that's a verse in the Bible that says, remember, tell your children and your grandchildren the day you were standing at Mount Sinai. From this, the rabbis learn that you are responsible for the Jewish education of your grandchildren, and Etty lived up to it. Another thing that moved her deeply lately was the October 7 event. Since then, she had such a strong feeling to Jews all over the world, especially to Israel, such a deep love to Israel, then it just drove her crazy. And as her daughter Amy told me, at that time she was with you, then these two went crazy completely about it. And they tried to do it. They couldn't believe how the world can turn against Israel and can blame Israel for the atrocities that Hamas is doing. And it consumed her, and consumed you, and consumed both of you. You know, every week we read a parsha of the week in the synagogue. Every parsha is divided into 7 aliyahs, 7 portions. And every day there is a tradition to study every day the portion of the day. It means to say the first day of the week, we read the first portion, the first aliyah, the second day, the second portion. In today's aliyah, the 6th aliyah, we read about the passing of our mother Rachel from the Bible. Rachel's tomb is in Israel, not too far from Jerusalem. Thousands of people are coming there to pray. And she's called our mother Rachel, the mother of the Jewish people. Then the question is, in practicality, in reality, Rachel was a mother of only 2 of the 12 tribes of Jacob, 12 sons of Jacob. Why she's called the mother of the Jewish people? Why is everybody she's identified as the mother? Leah was a mother of 7 children. Why Rachel? The answer is found in the book of Jeremiah. That was once a story when the Jewish people were exiled after the destruction of the Jewish people. They went away, they were exiled to Babylon, and they didn't know what was going to happen with them. And they stopped by at Rachel's tomb, at her grave, and they cried to God for help. And the prophet Jeremiah describes it. Then Rachel came out from her grave, and she went to God and cried for the children for the Jewish people, for the future of the Jewish people. And God promised Rachel, it says God told Rachel, don't cry. Your children, the Jewish children, will eventually come back to come back to the Holy Land. Because she cared for the whole Jewish children, because she cried for all the Jewish people, that's why she's considered the mother of all the Jewish people, because she cared. The best way to describe your mother, she's like Rachel. She cared for the Jewish people. The care that she had for every person she met was unbelievable. And as you told me yesterday, since October 7, she was involved in doing things for everybody and trying to help soldiers in Israel and sending things and finding somebody from Kfar Aza with Amy and helping buying a car for a family who lost their car and other things like this. And I saw even on the donations you said to give to the family in Kfar Aza. It's beautiful. That was your mother. She cared and loved the Jewish people in such a deep love that she can be considered. Rachel had 2 sons. Your mother has two daughters. She's very much, and just as Joseph protected the Jewish people, his mother, I can look on you, and both of you, how much you cared for your mother. You told me that your mother, because she was sick, she lived with Amy for 2 years, and now she just lately moved to Jana. She was supposed to be with you for a long time, but God wanted differently. But not only this, I saw in the last 10 days when your mother was in the hospital, I came to visit. Only the second time, a day before she passed away, I realized that you never left her side. You were there day and night for 10 days. To the point I started to scream at them, go home. Just go to sleep a little bit. You'll go crazy if you stay for so long in hospital. But that tells you what is your connection with, how much she loved you and how much you love her. And it goes both ways. But as your mother cared so much for the Jewish people, and as you told me that now things turned around for Israel, and God willing, when she will come, and she's now going to heaven, I'm sure she will pray for her children, for her grandchildren. That's her biggest pride. She was always proud that your daughter, the Joanna, married a Cohen, and her grandchildren will be Cohens. That was so important in her life. She was so excited about it. She came to tell. I remember her coming, telling me that. But she will not only she'll pray for her children and grandchildren, I know for sure she will pray for the Jewish people. And maybe her prayers will do it and the war will be over. תהי נשמתה צרורה בצרור החיים, and now we're going to hear from your daughters.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today to honor and celebrate our incredible mother. She was truly one of a kind. She had the most beautiful soul, loving, generous, funny, smart, wise, strong, and grateful. She was the strongest person I've ever known, and she showed us that strength every single day in the way she loved us, cared for us, and guided us. There will never be another person like her. If I had to pick the first thing that comes to mind when I think of my mom, it would be her generosity. She didn't just give things, she gave herself. She had this natural way of making people feel seen, loved, and welcome. She'd stop strangers on the street to give them a compliment, welcome new families to the community as if they'd always belonged, and if she saw someone in need, she didn't hesitate to help. Generosity wasn't just something she did. It was part of who she was. She taught me, Amy, and our children that being generous isn't about how much you have, but how much you're willing to give from your heart. Through her example, I learned that kindness is something you live out every day. It's one of the most important lessons she ever taught us, and I'll carry it with me forever. Another big part of my mom's heart was her love for Yiddishkeit. She didn't just follow their traditions, she loved them. She made sure we were connected to Judaism, sending us to Jewish schools, teaching us to follow the ways of the Torah, and guiding us toward building Jewish families of our own. But for her, it was never about following rules just for the sake of it. She loved the songs, the prayers, the rituals, and the feeling of connection they brought. It's a love she passed down to us. It was thereby fitting that in her final moments, my sister, my father, Rabbi Kirsch, and I shared prayers, learned Torah, and sang Shalom Aleichem as my mom was taking her last breaths. It brought me back to our family Shabbats, seeing my mom light the Shabbos candles with so much love and intention. I thought about her lighting those same candles with our children, giving them memories I hope they'll carry with them forever. In that moment, I felt like we were welcoming the angels of Shalom Aleichem, But this time, they were coming to bring my mom with them to a place where she could finally rest at peace with Hashem, her parents, and her brother Boris. Another part of my mom's heart that she passed down to us was her love for Israel. For her, Israel wasn't just a faraway place. It was home. I'll always remember my first trip to Israel with her, my sister, and my aunt. Almost 20 years later, I got to go back, but this time I brought my mom, Grant, Maya, and Ethan with me. It felt like everything had come full circle. Walking those streets again, this time with my own kids, was one of the most meaningful experiences of my life. But for my mom, it was even deeper. It wasn't just a trip. It was a chance to share something she loved so much with all of us. She made sure that love for Israel lived in our hearts too. If I had to pick one lesson my mom taught us that will stay with me for the rest of my life, it would be gratitude. She was the most grateful person I've ever known. No matter what was going on, she found a way to be thankful. She would say to us, "When my time comes, I'll be okay because I've lived a full and happy life." And she meant it. Even when life wasn't perfect, she still felt full. That's a kind of peace I hope to carry with me for the rest of my life. It's one of the most beautiful lessons she gave us, to be grateful for everything, even the hard parts. She didn't just tell us to be grateful. She really, really lived it. She found joy in the simple, everyday moments, and that's something I'll never forget. I want to say thank you to all of you for being here today. I'm so very grateful. Thank you for loving my mom, and thank you for being with us during the simchas and the bad times. To everyone here and watching us all over the world, I want to ask one thing. If my mom's life touched yours in any way, I hope you'll carry a little piece of her with you. Be generous like she was. Love with your whole heart. Live your faith with joy. Treasure your family. And most of all, be grateful. Not just for the big things, but for all the little moments that make life beautiful. If we can all do that, we'll keep her spirit alive. Mommy, having you as my mother has been the greatest blessing of my life. And being able to call you my best friend has been a gift I'll cherish forever. I'm going to miss you more than I can put into words, but I know that everything you taught me will stay with me always, and I promise to spend every day teaching that to Maya and Ethan. Mommy, thank you for everything. Thank you for giving us a life full of love, faith, and family. Thank you for teaching us to be better people. I'm going to miss you so much, but I'll never stop being grateful that I got to be your daughter. That is the greatest blessing of all. May my mom's memory be a blessing for all of us. Thank you. I'm going to repeat it all in Spanish now. Sorry, one sec. Hola a todos. Muchas gracias por estar aquí hoy para honorar y celebrar a nuestra increíble mamá. Ella fue verdaderamente única. Tenía el alma más hermosa, amorosa, generosa, divertida, inteligente, sabida, fuerte y agradecida. Fue la persona más fuerte que he conocido y mostró esa fortaleza todos los días con la forma en que nos amó, nos cuidó y nos guió. Nunca habrá otra persona como ella. Si tuviera que elegir, lo primero que me viene a la mente cuando pienso en mi mamá sería su generosidad. Ella no solo daba cosas, se daba a sí misma. Tenía una forma natural de hacer que las personas se sintieran vistas, amadas y bienvenidas. Se detenía para dar cumplidos a extraños en la calle, recibía nuevas familias en la comunidad como si siempre hubieran pertenecido ahí, y si veía a alguien necesitado, no dudaba en ayudar. La generosidad no era solo algo que hacía, era parte de lo que ella era. Nos enseñó a mí, a Amy, a nuestros hijos, que ser generosos no se trata de cuánto tienes, sino de cuánto estás dispuesto a dar desde el corazón. A través de su empleo aprendí que la bondad es algo que se vive todos los días. Es una de las lecciones más importantes que nos enseñó y la llevaré conmigo para siempre. Otra parte fundamental del corazón de mi mamá era su amor por ser judía. Ella no solo seguía las tradiciones, las amaba. Se aseguró de que estuviéramos conectados con el judaísmo, enviándonos a escuelas judías, enseñándonos a seguir los caminos de la Torá y guiándonos para que formamos nuestras propias familias judías. Pero para ella nunca se trató de seguir reglas por seguirlas. Ella amaba las canciones, las oraciones, los rituales y el sentimiento de conexión que traen. Ese amor nos lo transmitió. Por eso fue tan significado que en sus últimos momentos mi hermana, mi papá, el rabino Kirsch y yo compartimos oraciones, estudiamos la Torá y cantamos Shalom Aleichem mientras mi mamá daba sus últimos respiros. Me recordó a los Shabbats familiares, viendo a mi mamá encender las velas de Shabbat con tanta intención y amor. Pensé en ella encendiendo esas mismas velas con nuestros hijos, dándoles recuerdos que espero que lleven ellos para siempre. En ese momento sentí que estábamos dando la bienvenida a los ángeles de Shalom Aleichem, pero esta vez venían a llevarse a mi mamá con ellos, a un lugar donde finalmente podría descansar en paz con Hashem, sus padres y su hermano Boris. Otra parte del corazón de mi mamá que nos transmitió fue su amor por Israel. Para ella, Israel no era solo un lugar lejano, era su hogar. Siempre recordaré mi primer viaje a Israel con ella, mi hermana y mi tía Frida. Casi 20 años después volví, pero esta vez llevé a mi mamá, Grant, y mis hijos, Maya y Ethan, conmigo. Se sintió como si todo hubiera cerrado un círculo. Caminar por esas calles de nuevo, esta vez con mis propios hijos, fue una de las experiencias más significadas de mi vida. Pero para mi mamá fue aún más profundo. No fue solo un viaje, fue una oportunidad para compartir con nosotros algo que amaba tanto. Se aseguró de que ese amor por Israel también viviría en nuestros corazones. Si tuviera que elegir una lección que mi mamá nos enseñó y que se quedaría conmigo por el resto de mi vida, sería la gratitud. Ella era la persona más agradecida que he conocido. No importaba lo que estuviera pasando, encontraba la manera de estar agradecida. Nos decía, cuando llegue mi momento, estaré bien con ello, porque he vivido una vida plena y feliz. Yo lo decía, y lo decía en serio. Incluso cuando la vida no era perfecta, ella aún se sentía plena. Esa es una paz que espero llevar conmigo por el resto de mi vida. Es una de las lecciones más hermosas que nos dio estar agradecidos por todo, incluso por las partes difíciles. Ella no solo nos dijo que fuéramos agradecidos, lo vivió. Encontró alegría en los momentos simples y y eso es algo que nunca olvidaré. Quiero dar gracias a todos los que están aquí hoy y que nos están viendo. Gracias por amar a mi mamá. Gracias por estar con nosotros en los buenos y en los malos momentos. A todos que nos escuchan desde Colombia. Gracias por querer a mi mamá como la querían. Gracias por cuidarla cuando estaba en Colombia, lejos de nosotros. Gracias por darle amistad y amor. Y gracias por quererla. Toda nuestra vida nos contó cuentos de las aventuras de su juventud con sus amigos y de la amistad que le dieron. A los que trabajaron con ella, gracias por todo lo que hicieron para ayudarla. Ella quería a la organización Dan muchísimo y tenía tanta gratitud por ustedes. A todos los que están aquí hoy y nos ven desde cualquier parte del mundo, quiero pedirles una cosa. Si la vida de mi mamá los tocó de alguna manera, espero que se lleven con ustedes un pedacito de ella. Sean generosos como ella lo fue. Amen con todo su corazón. Vivan su fe con alegría. Atesoren a su familia y, sobre todo, sean agradecidos. No solo por las cosas grandes, sino por todos los pequeños momentos que hacen que la vida sea hermosa. Si todos podemos hacer eso, mantendremos viva su esencia. Mami. Tenerte como mi mami ha sido la mayor bendición de mi vida y poder llamarte mi mejor amiga ha sido un regalo que atesorar para siempre. Te voy a extrañar más de lo que puedo poner en palabras, pero sé que todo lo que me enseñaste se quedará conmigo siempre. Y prometo pasar cada día enseñando esas lecciones a mis hijos. Mami, gracias por todo. Gracias por darnos una vida llena de amor, fe y familia. Gracias por enseñarnos a ser mejores personas. Te voy a extrañar tanto, pero nunca dejaré de estar agradecida por haber tenido la suerte de ser tu hija. Esa es la mayor bendición de todos. Que la memoria de mi mamá sea una bendición para todos nosotros. Gracias.
Thank you all so much for being here today and for the countless people abroad in Colombia and Israel who are with us too. Due to the short notice and the distance, we are so happy you can make it on the live stream and we feel your presence and support. My mother was a tzaddik, a light in my life and in the world. It's impossible for me to put into words what she meant to me and how close we were and how incredible she was, but I'm going to give it a shot. Love. As a grandmother, you showered your daughters and grandchildren with love, and we created memories we will treasure forever. You will so deeply be missed by all of us, but especially by your grandchildren, Maya, Ethan, Judy, and Ari, who adored their Ita Bonita so dearly. When I told the kids about your death, they had the sweetest responses. Judy knows you're in the sky watching over her with Guta and God. Ari is your youngest Kabbalistic disciple. When I told him the news, he told me he was sad for you, but happy because you would be reborn as his child. So be glad to know you have instilled your views on reincarnation to your youngest grandchild. Wisdom. You were a small but mighty woman with infinite wisdom. You always knew how to guide me and what the right decision was no matter what. So many came to you for your guidance, wisdom, and clarity. I remember many times you had significant challenges in health, business, or personally that would each individually be enough to break a person. With complete composure, you would tell me that you felt blessed and you had a good life, and if this was God's will, then let it be. You taught me to face challenges with a calm, deep breath, faith, and clarity. Strength. You taught me so many vital lessons that I will carry with me for the rest of my life. Be tough and defend yourself. Learn to stand on your own 2 feet. Expect the best, but be prepared for the worst. Life is hard and you will meet challenges. Keep your faith in God. Be thankful for all the positive blessings you have in your life, and always put yourself in another's shoes to help you put into perspective whatever challenges you may be having. You were a fighter. Generosity. You taught me so much about giving to others. No matter what, if you have the ability to do so or you don't, you must give, give, give. You had a long list of people you gave to, quietly, with no fanfare, without a need for even acknowledgement. This is the way the Torah says to give. You would give and keep giving. Many times you would travel and come home without any belongings. I asked you if you were robbed, many times it was in Colombia, or lost your bags, and you would tell me you met someone who was going through a difficult time and you gave them everything you had with you. You taught me to be kind and humble. You could have given yourself so many luxuries, but those things were never important to you. You wanted to afford a good future for your children and grandchildren filled with Jewish education. That was your greatest luxury and greatest priority. Zionism and Judaism. Israel and Judaism were everything to you. You ingrained that in me so deeply, it flows through every ounce of my blood. I'm so thankful you did that. Judaism is a blessing I feel so lucky to be a part of. You always emphasize the importance of Jewish education above all else, and I'm so thankful for that. And no matter what happens, your grandchildren will be educated with strong Jewish values and education, so please rest well. I know you are comforted by the fact that you are buried with soil from Israel on your heart and under your head. You're eternally connected to your favorite place. October 7th. You were so shattered by October 7th and the hostages, and you could not handle that. The hostages cannot be forgotten. We must all remember the hostages every breath we take. They must be brought home now. You and I would spend hours discussing their fate and the different political options to get them home. We would never stop analyzing the geopolitical landscape. We would bore Harry to sleep with our never-ending analysis of Iran, Russia, and China. We were always talking about the situation in Israel. It truly kept us up at night. Your love of Israel was so deep, and you passed that on to me, and I am so, so thankful, because nothing is more important. We must always understand in our hearts and in our minds and in every ounce of our being that Judaism in Israel is nothing short of a miracle that must be protected and loved and appreciated and defended. I thank you for instilling these values in me, and you can be certain they will be instilled in generations to come, and that is because of you and your immense work and focus. I picture you in the sky speaking to God and coordinating the deal to release the hostages. I know you're holding Hirsch Goldberg poem close to you, and I just know in my heart of hearts that you will make it happen. Okay, Mommy, it's time for you to go. I know you are in peace, and I know you're in a better place. I know our souls are forever bound. I know that we will meet again in another life. I know we will forever be connected. I feel it so profoundly and so deeply. I tried for so long and so hard to save you, and I'm so sorry we are here today. There was so much left for you to see and for you to experience, but as it goes, man plans and God laughs. I will miss you with my every ounce of being. I will miss you with every breath I take and every second of every minute for the rest of my life. I know you will be with me forever, but I will have to find a different way to communicate with you. You are my biggest blessing, my biggest gift. I need nothing more from God because I had you. I'm so lucky and so blessed that God chose me to have been your daughter. May your neshama have an aliyah, and may your memory be for a blessing.
We are now going to do the memorial service. I'll do it in Hebrew and Rabbi Kirsch will do it in English. Please rise. אל מלא רחמים, שוכן במרומים, אמצעי מנוחה נכונה על כנפי השכינה, במעלות קדושים וטהורים כזוהר הרקיע מזהירים, את נשמת אתל בת נחום שהלכה לעולמה, בעבור שאנחנו מתפללים בעד הזכרת נשמתה, בגני עדן תהי מנוחתה. לכן בעל הרחמים יסתריה בסתר כנפיו לעולמים, ויצרור בצרור החיים את נשמתה, אדוני ונחלתה, ותנוח בשלום המשכבה, ונאמר אמן.
God full of compassion, who dwells on high, grant proper rest on the sheltering wings of your presence, in the lofty levels of the holy and pure, who shine as the brightness of the heavens. To the soul of Ethel, the daughter of Nachum, who has gone to her world, and for whose memory we pray. May her rest be in paradise. May the Master of Compassion bring her under the cover of God's wings and bind her soul in the bond of life. May the Lord be her heritage, and may she rest on her resting place in peace. And let us respond, Amen.
You may be seated. The pallbearers will come up.
Pallbearers, gentlemen. Pallbearers, gentlemen, you're going to go with Mr. Bookatz right here. You're going to step right down the center aisle. Pallbearers, step right down the center aisle. We'll go with Mr. Bookatz right there, please. I ask everyone to kindly rise and remain in place just for a moment, please. And follow right behind. Follow right behind you. Going to Mount Olive Cemetery in Solon. If anybody's traveling with the family to the cemetery, please step directly to your car,